Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading session. Sorry, I drew a little bit of a blank there. I'm staring at my new interface for the webinar room, and they keep changing the interface without any warning. So you open up your charts and you wonder, how the heck does this thing work now? But I think I got a handle on it. If I accidentally close the room or cut you off, well, you'll know something's not right. All right, so here we are with the NASDAQ. Let's take a look here at what's been going on through the remainder of yesterday's session. You can see the market topped out after the fine rally we saw in the morning. The market reversed on itself and actually headed a little bit lower going into the closing moments of the day. Asia and Europe relatively quiet. No opening gaps to consider really this morning. And we do have something that's looking a little bit maybe like a bear flag, if you will, a little pullback period. We'll see how this plays out. Right now, the market looking relatively balanced, relatively neutral. Our hawk displaying quite a few yellow bars. All right, I'm thinking maybe here for you new Raptor traders, maybe we're going to see a failure here and a number 2 signal develop. It's a little dicey right now because you could also see this maybe as a cloud crossover. So the Raptor also a little bit at odds with the signal generation. But sometimes the best thing to do if you don't know, just wait. Don't do anything. That's actually my favorite trading quote. If you've never read that post that I wrote, somebody asked me once what my favorite trading quote was. My favorite trading quote is actually from Christopher Columbus. No, not the explorer. Christopher Kraft Columbus used to be the operations manager or mission manager at Mission Control for the Apollo space flights. If you've seen the movie Apollo 13, he was portrayed by, oh shoot, now I just drew a blank on the actor. Oh, isn't that terrible? And this is one of my favorite actors too. Hold on. Ed Harris. Yes, of course. Why could I not remember Ed Harris's name? And that was his policy. And I think they kind of developed that policy, if not around Apollo 13, certainly somewhere around that period of time. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do anything. If you don't know what to do, that's more appropriate. Don't do anything. Okay, we are getting a buy signal here. We also got the late filter entry. I'm going to pop in here just with a single. No, that's not what I want. Why am I getting 3 orders again? Okay, I didn't report that glitch yesterday because I thought maybe it was me. But I'm going to have to notify the programmers. All right, so let's take a look now here. Oh, I got a second chance. We'll move into manual mode. I'll take it above the high. Don't you run away. Okay, this is, again, it's very early in the session. I'm going to try to run this one out maybe. Looking for some of that initial momentum that very often we get early in the session. And so far, so good. Okay, we've hit our break-even trigger. I haven't enabled my stops yet, which is why it hasn't rolled to break even, but we will take the trade to break even now. And of course, we are pretty close to our high probability profit objective. Don't look too far back here. Come on. You can see we're getting a little tangled up in the resistance line here at 53.58. You stinkers, you're going to tag me. Shoot. I thought they were going to go. All right. Well, it was a decent little run up. Again, we had the comparable signal here in the Falcon with our late filter entry signal. Very strong signal as well. This occurs when the filter goes out of sync and then comes back into sync. The trend line itself never changes color, and we produce a signal. Oh yeah, there you go. So they're doing their little reverse now, picking up the trend again. Here on the Hawk, going into the open, we had a 4-arrow consolidation. That's what sparked the market higher. With the hawk, the 4-arrow consolidation is the only signal I will take off of a yellow bar. So even though these bars were yellow, because it was a 4-arrow consolidation, I would have tried to buy that signal. We're putting in a bit of a rally here. Start the day. Way to go, Jeff. Jeff capitalizing on that Falcon signal. Nicely done. So now we're near this 53.62 zone. Kind of held the market through the afternoon, knocked them down. Yeah. Jeff says, I'm a falconer. Woohoo! Let's take a look at what's going on in crude oil this morning. Crude oil pretty much on the skids here. Prices heading a little bit lower, but there is support down here. No real signal just yet. We did get the crossover signal way back here. In fact, I would have taken this as the early crossover. Even though the clouds were not completely turned over, you see it came a little bit later because the clouds were a little bit late completing their cross. But you could have also sold from here. I almost thought we were going to see something there in crude, but pretty quiet at the moment. And then we have gold. Shoot, where's my gold chart? All right, so it looks like I was a little bit quick with my stop again. Hate it when that happens. Here we go. Here's the gold chart, and almost working a number 2 signal, aren't we? We've seen a retest of the lows here. Haven't produced a signal just yet. This market just in screaming lower. All this developed over the span of a minute. So something is really kicking the gold market around this morning. Hey, way to go, Christian. Christian says, nice Raptor trade plus 301 trade. Way to go. I'm glad you were able to hang on a little bit longer. Tom is saying, Eric, I'm getting a number one signal on the YM. Bear with me here a moment and I will load the YM onto my Raptor. Thomas saying, I'm getting a number one signal on the YM. I know my settings are different than yours. What are your settings? Well, for the most part, my settings are the default settings. So I'm working a number one signal on the YM also. To answer your question though, we go here to the indicators. About the only change I have made is here for the signal parameter SE. That's your number two signal, your soft edge, buy or sell. The default is 1.01. I've increased it to 1.25. That makes it a little bit more sensitive. So you can see the YM, also a very nice market, a little bit smoother, not quite as volatile perhaps as the NASDAQ. And that's obviously a pretty strong rally for the buyers. Almost recovering all of yesterday's range. I think yesterday we got up to 53.75, did we not? Yes, we did. Here we are at 53.70 now. Major retest on the high. This is the kind of situation where I would be looking for a possible number two to form here in the Raptor, or band, not really overextended, but getting there. Certainly if we see a test of the extreme and a failure, I think we could be persuaded to attempt a short. Okay, Tom asking about the settings. Tom says, Eric, on the YM, it looks like you have 8 ticks set, mine is 5 ticks. Where do I make that change? Okay, so the brick size, the default recommended brick size for the Raptor is 8 ticks. To change that, you go here to your data series. That controls the size of your mean wrinkle bars, the size of your brick. Any other changes to your Raptor, you will go to your indicators and you will find the Raptor, and then you can make your changes appropriately. So you can change your bar colors, you can change your sensitivity. Ooh, the Bears making a pretty good push against that great big rally. Christian asking, Eric, in the Raptor, how many ticks is your break even away from your profit when you use a 20 tick target in the NASDAQ? I think I have it set at 20 ticks, Christian. And that might be, or pardon me, 15 ticks. Is that what I said? That might be a little bit cozy. That's twice now I got tagged at break even before the market exploded. I may have to hold my stop a little bit. Or just get into the trade earlier. I got into that trade a little bit late. That was a problem as well. If I got into the trade on time, then maybe it wouldn't matter so much. Okay, the sellers making a big push against the buyers here now. Now we'll see whether we come back with a test of the extreme. Okay, there it is. Here it comes. The retest of the highs now. Hey, way to go, Clayton. Clayton says, by running my profit line up to $400 on one contract and managing my stop closely, I was able to realize a $230 profit on a single contract. Well done. This was a good strategy this time, the Raptor number one long signal. Usually early in the session is when we anticipate the bigger moves. It's like that first couple hours of the day is when everybody gets busy, and then of course the last hour, if you're still hanging around, tends to get busy. Occasionally we will see a big move through the middle, but not that often. Usually the market gets a little bit stagnant in the afternoon. Yeah, way to go, Clayton. Clayton says, I'm done for the day after 10 a.m. Central. And that that's kind of my pattern as well. There's a lot of days where my trading is done in the first 15 or 20 minutes of the day. I know other traders who are watching their charts continuously, and I do mean continuously, day and night. I don't know. I enjoyed the challenge, but that might be going a little bit overboard. Yeah, yeah. Like Clayton says, I know a guy who does that. Who makes his hourly rate about $2 an hour. I just think you open yourself up to too many bad trades, which is what we normally tend to avoid. Well, we're getting a trendline touch signal here in the Falcon. That's about the only signal that we really got going here at the moment. Are the buyers really going to press again? So if we took it above the high, can I cover it below the low? Ouch. That's a big trade. I'm favoring a little bit of a pullback here. But it wouldn't be the first time the market did contrary to what I thought it should do. Okay, so far the high is holding. If the highs hold, we should get our number 2 signal. If they break, I hope they break big time. Okay, they're fading a little bit from the high now. Or they were. All right, there we go. Don't hang me out now. Okay, just making a couple notes here in my trading journal. Peter, good question. I was waiting for somebody to ask me that this morning. Peter, you get the prize. No, you probably noticed when you log on to your NinjaTrader, it's prompting you to roll into your June contract. They're saying expiration is Thursday. Really, it's not. I don't know why NinjaTrader does that. Hold on 1 second here. Expiration for the stock indices are not until next week. Not until the 17th, 16th, and 17th. Now, people usually end up bugging me so much that I end up rolling early, but in actual fact, you could safely trade this until next Thursday. The markets will still be liquid enough. Oh, don't you dare. Okay, not liking the hesitation that we're seeing here. No, not liking it at all. So we'll bring those stops in a little bit for now. And in fact, I think I'm gonna get tagged here. Ouch. Well, that's just what I did not want to see, was that quick little breakout and the failure. Now we're going to work a possible trend change signal, and we might get our number 2 signal printing now. Yeah, that's a good way to do it as well. Christian says, I checked the daily volume in the NinjaTrader market analyzer comparing the March and the June contracts, and when the volume changes higher in the June contract, I go into the new contract. So here is, you can do it on NinjaTrader, of course. This is just on bar chart, shows you the same thing. So currently the March contracts, 67,000 contracts. June, just over 4,000. The open interest is building, though. That's important. But yes, you don't need to panic about swapping out contract months just yet. Clayton's saying, will you say something when it's the right time to roll over? Well, you can roll over now if you want. There's enough volume in June, and over the next week, more and more traders will start rolling. The signals will be the same. It's not like you're missing out on anything. It's not like you won't be able to get out of a trade if you want to. Yeah. Tony says, shoot, roll into it. Yeah, no problem, Clayton. No, I understand. There's new traders in the room, and a trader saying, Clayton saying, these are all newbie questions, but I don't know the answers. That's fine. You just ask away. Okay, Okay, so we're going to see a retest now and hopefully a failure. That will queue us up for a decent number 2. Or not. Oh, there we go. We got our number 2 signal now here in the Raptor. So the programming, considering this little move through here to be a retest of the high and a proper failure. Only good thing about a counter trend move is you know where you're going to cover the trade. You know where to say, I was wrong. All right, we might get a bigger number 2, a bigger test of the extreme form here. You can see the traders a little bit reluctant, the market a little reluctant to head lower. We're into yellow bars here now on the Hawk. That's a good sign. Haven't completed our trend change signal yet on the Falcon. Interesting observation here, Christian. Hold on a second here. Christian says regarding the different contract months. Okay, so the last price, you'll notice there's about a 4-point difference, 3-4 point difference between the two. Christian says, interesting that the last price is different between the March and the June contracts. Maybe we can go long in March contract and short one in June. But I think that makes no sense. No, it doesn't. They won't catch up to each other. What it is it's more obvious here. Let's choose a different commodity. It doesn't always make sense in a market like the NASDAQ, a stock index. If we look at a physical commodity, it will make a little bit more sense. So here is March. March soybeans trading at 10.12 half, and May soybeans trading at 10.23 and a quarter. July soybeans trading at 10.32 and a quarter. Why? Why is there a difference there? Well, the difference is carrying costs, right? If you want to take delivery of your soybeans in July, it's going to cost you more because somebody's got to warehouse that stuff for another 4 or 5 months until you get your hands on it. Notice down here, September, November soybeans are trading low relative to the current ones. Why is that, you say? Well, because this is when the new crop starts to come in, especially in November. So you can see November soybeans, there's no carrying cost associated with it because the new soybean crop will be harvested at that time. So nobody's got to house your soybeans for the next 8, 9 months. Similar things happen with the stock indices. Not exactly, but it is similar, where your front month always, or your further out months, you always end up paying a premium for them. Okay, we got a big battle going on now between the buyers and sellers. Ooh, some strong buying coming back into the market now. All right, well, gotta see some selling. So you can see now this is a better looking test of the extreme, what we're seeing. If the Falcon turns over, we will also get a trend change signal here on the Falcon. Yeah, Clayton says it will be a good loss if it hits. I agree. I went in a little heavy. That's just to offset my earlier trade. Normally on a counter trend position, I would only take a single contract. Thanks, Keith. Keith reminding me crude inventory's out in about 10 minutes time. Doggone it, here comes those buyers again. crude actually making a pretty tight range this morning. This is it, right down here. That's crude oil's range this morning. That teeny tiny range. I suppose I would favor it to the short side. I really would. Normally what I do is I bracket the trade with an OCO order, and I would buy above and sell below. I might use the support and resistance lines here as a guide to where I want to place my trade. What I should do though, because it's crude, and because it's crude inventory, I should probably use a stop limit order. A stop limit order has a slippage component built into it, where I have preset it at 3 ticks, meaning that is the most slippage I will be prepared to accept. Alright, we'll put that on the back burner for now, just kind of holding on to our number 2 signal, just barely though. Yeah, like Christian says, doesn't everybody in our trading room realize we have to trade that number 1, that number 2 signal short? I know, who's buying the market? Who is that? Is that you, Tony? No, look at you go. Oh, that's a stinger. Hmm. Well, there they go. Counter trend signals, that's the joy of a counter trend signal. You do know know when it's time to get out, but it's not always not always the best strategy to get in. Yeah, sorry folks. Chased a couple of... I managed my trade wrong on the first one, and it just seems to have trickled over into the other two trades as well. Making some big stars on my journal. Like I said before, there's nothing like trading to humble you. If you think you got a handle on things, trading will fix that real quick. All right, so crude oil now, very, very subdued. This is that range since the open. The market really stuck. I am probably favoring a move lower. But of course, we'll let the market decide. There's going to be trading left off up here, so there's a rather substantial opening gap above the market. You never know, we might see them try to fill that. All right, Thomas. Thomas is asking a question about break even. I'll get to your question after this crude oil trade because the crude inventory should release here in a moment. Make sure our stops are enabled. There we go. All right, so we're getting a soft edge buy signal. Ran right into the primary support line. All right, there's a second signal. A lot of volume going through, just not a lot of commitment. All right, so we're long. Don't you dare. Oh, come on. Get up there. At least get to 53 for crying out loud. Nope. Can't catch a break today. All right. Well, let's take a look here at the auto break-even feature, and then I'm going to have to shut down the room a little bit early as I got to get ready for our presentation. Wednesday, of course, is our demo day for non-Raptor owners. All right, so Thomas is asking, how do I set the auto break-even feature? What you need to do, Thomas, is you need to go to your control panel, or pardon me, your strategies window, and then you'll click on the trade manager, and you'll need to disable it. So go here to the enabled, click false, and then click apply. Once that happens, you'll be able to make changes to your trade manager. So you'll go up here to your number A2 auto break-even parameters. Yours probably says false. So you'll need to change that to true. Then you can set where you want your break-even trigger to occur. And then come back down here to your enabled tab. Change it from false back to true. And remember to click apply to make it all active. And that's it. Then you will have your auto break-even trigger in play. Okay, gang, I do need to close down the room here a little bit early. The NASDAQ, it's got a full head of steam right now, so it looks like any pullbacks may offer buying opportunities. I'm not sure the sellers will actually be able to reverse the market today. Rather, it seems like they may just throw it into a little bit of a sideways spin. All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Be careful. Talk to you soon.